Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Secrets of the Ancients, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of lost civilizations and dive deep into the secrets that shaped our world. I'm your archaeological guide, ready to take you on another mind-bending journey through the Harappan. Today's discoveries will challenge everything you thought you knew about ancient history. We're talking about giant statues hidden for decades, civilizations with bigger brains than ours, and pyramids that might rewrite the entire timeline of human achievement. Before we unveil these incredible secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Picture this, the beautiful island of Sardinia, 3,000 years ago. But here's what will blow your mind. Rumors spoke of terrifying giants inhabiting this Mediterranean paradise, with human skeletons allegedly reaching over 4 meters in height. Now, while nobody has ever provided concrete proof of these colossal remains, something incredibly strange definitely happened on this island. In 1974, archaeologists discovered over 5,000 fragments of stone artifacts in a region called Monte Prama. But here's where it gets suspicious. Instead of displaying these treasures in a museum, they locked them away in an underground vault for nearly 30 years. What were they hiding? When the pieces were finally moved in 2005, scientists assembled this ancient puzzle to reveal 38 giant statues, each standing 2.4 meters tall. These massive sculptures were crafted by the mysterious Nuragic culture that populated the island millennia ago. This civilization didn't just create giant statues, they erected over 8,000 stone structures across Sardinia. Maybe the Nuragic people weren't giants themselves, but they clearly love thinking big. Speaking of thinking big, a massive number of likes on our videos would be absolutely amazing. Thanks for appreciating our content, and now let's continue our journey. Now, hold on to your seats, because this next discovery might make you question everything about human intelligence. What if we aren't the smartest humans to ever walk the earth? What if we're not even the most intelligent species? This sounds like science fiction, but archaeological evidence suggests otherwise. Since 1913, skull fragments discovered in South Africa have suggested the existence of a potentially more intelligent competitor, dubbed Boskop Man. This human-like species might have existed as recently as 10,000 years ago, and here's what will absolutely amaze you. Their skulls suggest they had extremely large heads, meaning their brains could have been up to 30% larger than ours. With brains that massive, their average IQ could have reached 149 points, placing them among the top 0.5% of the most intelligent people today. But here's the puzzling question that baffled scientists. If Boskop Man had such advanced brains, why aren't they still around? You see, bigger doesn't always mean better. Our brains are much larger than our primate cousins, primarily in the prefrontal cortex, the part that handles complex tasks like decision-making, short-term memory, and self-awareness. Perhaps the Boskop spent too much time meditating on the past, rather than accomplishing practical things like hunting. But this is all speculation. Some experts even argue that Boskops weren't really different from us at all, the only evidence being those famous skull fragments. The mystery remains unsolved. Ready for another revelation? The Amazon rainforest harbors approximately 30% of all plant and animal species in the world. That's impressive. But the story of one particular human civilization has long intrigued scientists. The enigmatic Kasarabi civilization lived here for hundreds of years before vanishing around 1400 AD. For centuries, we thought the Amazon contained only a few scattered tribes, but recent discoveries have revealed something incredible. Using cutting-edge technology called LiDAR, which uses harmless lasers to map forests without damaging them, we've discovered large, unusual shapes carved into the ground, called geoglyphs. These aren't just simple, shallow desendikan. The gods is concealer and Brdien is der somber fars. The bots dancer. Riam one and nandem one and bon and then the stins. Vabod of Van, Assad-Zadzis civilization spanning 1,000 square kilometers, comprising approximately 450 symbols, some 400 meters wide. In 2019, satellite LiDAR scanning revealed kilometers of roads and elevated paths. and even pyramids over 20 meters in height. We discovered 26 distinct settlement zones, with 2 measuring at least 100 hectares each. That's equivalent to 330 football fields. This was mind-blowing. This civilization could have housed up to 1 million individuals just 600 years ago. What happened to the Kasarabe people? It's quite possible the Spanish conquistadors were responsible for their disappearance. Perhaps the most perplexing ancient civilization is one we've never actually found any trace of. Yes, I'm talking about Atlantis, that great city that supposedly sank into the ocean. The first mentions of Atlantis come from the Greek philosopher Plato, who described a great city near the Strait of Gibraltar. For centuries, everyone simply thought Plato had invented it entirely as an idealized version of his native Athens. So why, approximately 12,000 years after its supposed disappearance, are we still wondering if it might have existed? Well, in the 19th century, Ignatius Donnelly, a member of the United States Congress, wrote a book giving 13 reasons why he believed Atlantis was more than just a myth. Then, in 1965, some people believed they had actually found Atlantis when they discovered the Richat structure, a massive geological dome 40 kilometers in diameter in Mauritania. It's so large that you can only observe it entirely from space. 2 astronauts flying over the Sahara Desert spotted this giant eye staring back at them and thought it was a major discovery. Unfortunately, there's no tangible evidence connecting this structure to Atlantis. Scientists believe it formed from volcanic activity approximately 100 million years ago, but doesn't that seem a bit too convenient? Unfortunately, we're no closer to knowing the truth about the legendary lost city. Now imagine traveling back to approximately 3000 BC and finding yourself in South Asia. Let me introduce you to the Harappan civilization. These people were incredibly advanced for their time. They occupied cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, equipped with brick houses, sophisticated sewage systems, and even public baths. This place could have housed more than 5 million individuals, making it one of the most densely populated regions of its time. They had invented a standardized weight system that was incredibly useful for merchants, and they practiced extensive trade. Their contacts extended to the Middle East thanks to their mastery of metallurgy. They even developed the ancient equivalent of major brands. Seals were used to mark clay on their goods. Despite their advances and prosperity, their language and alphabet remain shrouded in mystery. We have fragments of their writing, but nobody has yet managed to decipher them. Even with all the technology we have today, we still don't know exactly how their society functioned. Interestingly, they weren't as concerned with social status as other civilizations. No grand palaces or grandiose monuments. Instead, their largest structures were granaries, which was surely more practical. Around 1800 BC, this flourishing civilization began to decline, perhaps due to changes in waterways. Have you ever heard of the Minotaur? The beast with a bull's head and a man's body, chasing valiant adventurers through an endless labyrinth. Well, this isn't just any old story. It was one of the most popular dramas of the ancient world, and it was inspired by this place, the island of Crete. The Minoans lived there during the Bronze Age. They had magnificent palaces, incredible frescoes, and a culture so rich it still fascinates historians to this day. They erected places like the Palace of Gunassos, which was so complex with its multi-story buildings and elaborate corridors that it could have inspired the entire myth of the labyrinth. Their engineering was so advanced for its time that even their drainage system was more sophisticated than what many of us have today. This might explain why Greek mythology is filled with stories about Crete and its legendary king, Minos. And speaking of legendary tales inspiring modern stories, did you know the Hunger Games trilogy drew inspiration from ancient myths? The idea of sending heroes to fight comes directly from prisoners sent as tribute to face the Minotaur. Here's breaking news that will shock you. The world's oldest pyramid was built during the last ice age, and it's not in Egypt. Gunung Padang, the hidden pyramid. It appears our ancestors erected a pyramid 27,000 years old in West Java, Indonesia. Gunung Padang doesn't look like a real pyramid at first glance. It's more like a hill with huge stones scattered everywhere, but local people have seemed to venerate the site for centuries. Indonesian geologist Danny Hillman used cutting-edge technology to prove that Gunung Padang was the world's first pyramid. He used carbon dating, digging deep into the site to extract large pieces of material for analysis, and he discovered countless layers of shaped stone. As if digging under Rome, you'd discover tons of buried buildings. According to his research, there were caverns, and in these caverns, chambers, proving that humans had been there. The rocks at the top of the mound were probably strategically placed by those who lived on the site for meditation purposes. However, many scientists doubt Hillman's theory. Flint Dibble, another archaeologist, stated that without concrete evidence of human activity, we can't speak of real pyramids. All this data only proves that the soil of the mound dates back 27,000 years. According to Bill Farley, an American archaeologist, there's simply no reason to believe there were human societies in Indonesia during the last ice age. For reference, the oldest known society with this type of knowledge probably dates back to 11,000 years ago in present-day Turkey. Imagine the scale of human resources and engineering expertise required to erect these immense white roads. Archaeologists believe the construction of these roads followed a process similar to that used for pyramids, a mixture of mud and quarried stone, completed by several layers of limestone to give them that brilliant hue. Pretty impressive, right? Let's take a step back to better understand the context. The Maya represented one of the largest pre-Columbian civilizations of the Americas. Until now, specialists estimated that at its peak, Maya civilization comprised over 40 cities, bringing together millions of inhabitants, a considerable population. Their empire stretched from Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula to Guatemala and Belize, with an economy based primarily on agriculture. However, the peninsula presented a particularly hostile environment for cultivation, so the Maya had to design sophisticated irrigation systems. This discovery completely challenges the idea that the Maya pre-classic period, dating back to 2,000 years before our era, was limited to small tribal villages. The Maya were master engineers, brilliant astronomers, and sophisticated urban planners who built one of the most advanced civilizations the ancient world had ever seen. Fellow explorers, what mysteries do you think still lie hidden beneath the jungles and deserts of our world? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Secrets of the Ancients for more incredible archaeological journeys. In our next episode, we'll travel to another corner of the ancient world to uncover secrets that have remained buried for millennia. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop seeking the truth about our incredible past. This has been Secrets of the Ancients, where history comes alive and mysteries await around every corner. See you on our